up, guys? Chris with T3 Medias, and I just met some cool guys here. I'm out here at the Grand Studio Movie Grill, and I saw the advanced screening of Ghost in the Shell. Met some guys. We were just talking movies the way, I love to do. And I mean, these guys were on point. I met a dude named Trinidad and a dude named Bougie, and we sat together before, during, and after the movie. We're talking about Ghost in the Shell, anime, Scarlett Johansson, movies in relation, Akira, things like that. This movie was really good. Now, if you don't know, Ghost in the Shell is a movie set in the future. A girl who is brought into this militant world through her being transformed or becoming like a cyborg type of a weapon, who is enhanced like almost a 100%. Besides, her mind. That's hence the Ghost in the Shell kind of a title. A terrorist, hacker kind of a villain who's causing all kinds of trouble. Really psychedelic. It's really, really fun. It's a movie. If you don't remember or if you've never seen the original anime, I recommend. You know what? I don't know what I would recommend first. Do you see it? Do you not? I would say it doesn't matter. Watch the original anime. Come back and watch the film adaptation of it, and you're like, it's two different movies, but at the same time, they complement each other so well. I now understand a little bit more than I didn't when I was younger because I watched this movie and everything. The conversation that I just had with these two guys, and I'm hoping I can get these guys to probably join T3 Medias. I don't know if they're podcasting or whatever. I don't care. These guys were awesome, and I really want to have more conversation with these guys. I'm glad I got the information that I needed, because one of them, he knows these movies. He really knows. The other, he went in without seeing the original movie. So I was kind of in the middle. I saw the original movie, didn't remember that much of it, and I was reminded a lot based on what I saw right now. So we all came in with three different kinds of perceptions, and we had little complaints. This movie should do well. Great action, great scenes. It was Matrixy, but better in a lot of ways. A lot of things kind of, if I was to criticize anything, it was I kind of felt some Total Recall stuff going on, but based on what the movie was about, cybernetics, computer hacking, the enhancements of people not being defined by your past, but it's not what you were or what you remember. It was the things that you do that defined you. Stuff like that. I mean, that I only like little pet peeves things. Now, the whole notion about whitewashing and whatnot, it was kind of addressed in this movie. I'm not going to spoil it at all. We kind of had spoiler conversations. We didn't really. I'll let you guys listen to part of the conversation that me, Trinidad, and Bougie had right after the movie, and let you guys determine what you guys want to think about what you're about to hear right now. So check this out. The Ghost in the Shell. So all right, you were going over your what was it, 5 things, or what was it?
If I'm going to analyze and nitpick anything, I had 3 small, tiny things I can nitpick at. Mm-hmm. And it is simply, this is only by scene. This is not to say that the movie is anything less than beautiful, extraordinarily well done. It is a scene where there's an inconsistency. It was a moment where a retake could have been done, because I noticed some of the physical aspects was not conducive towards what the scene was going for. Mm-hmm. And the final one was simply, it was a logic wasn't present in an action scene. Right. But that's a little thing to say. I'm looking at it and I count these little things. If you're not paying attention, you won't even notice these things. I mean, right.
Overall, though, so for a person who remembers the original movie, do you think this was a real good version of the original anime?
I believe this is a very well adaptation to film from making an anime. In anime, you have a lot of shadow and light subtleties you can do in your control. When you're dealing with real actors in film, there's more lighting you got to put sometimes. You can't control all of the aspects of scene and angle. This reminded me for a lot of scenes from the anime. I can look at the anime and I can remember the anime. Yeah. I've seen scenes in this movie where you think, Yep, that's exactly what I pictured.
yeah.
That's exactly what I thought when I remember.
I'm definitely gonna go back and watch that anime again. Does this open the door for Akira?
I hope so. I hope so, because that was kind of stuck in limbo, because Akira was at who was it that had their name attached to Akira?
From
Was
Inception, what's it right? Wasn't it?
old dude from Inception.
The DiCaprio, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, he was the one. Yeah, tied to
Yeah.
it. Supposed to be like a Japan,
Japanese,
San Francisco kind
San
of a
Francisco
merge,
type thing, yeah.
kind of a deal. Yeah.
So I mean,
Which I didn't think was a bad idea because I understood America. You know,
Yeah,
North
you're
America.
aiming towards your audience. So
Yeah.
that makes sense. But I'm thinking Akira. You know, maybe some other ones, live action, because they're already doing the live action fairy tales that Disney's doing.
That'd be
so if they
interesting.
start doing the live action anime, you can open up the door for stuff like Vampire Hunter D,
Yeah.
something as
Cowboy
classic as-
Bebop, right?
Yeah, Cowboy Bebop,
Right.
or something like Akira.
Yeah.
You know, some older ones where you're just sitting there. Princess Mononoke would have been
Oh,
amazing.
Ninja Scroll. That's
Ninja
the
Scroll,
one I'm
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
of.
Fist of the Dark or the North Star.
Oh, yeah.
Those old school ones.
Trigun.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, all of those ones where you sit there and you're like, okay, these are like, if you're to write a must watch of the anime community,
There's
these
like a
are
top
the ones.
10 of,
and now
that,
that
yeah.
if Ghost in the Shell does at least respectable,
Right.
they'll see that there's some money
There's a
there.
market there.
That is being ignored. A little niche. Do that with these animes. I don't know how much. I don't know. Ghost in the Shell looks kind of expensive.
It seemed like they had
Very
a big
expensive.
budget. Now, most of this was a lot of computer simulation, a lot
Yeah,
of scenes.
CGI.
But it needed
You
to
had
be,
a
yeah.
lot of on-set action. And that's what it needs to be.
Yeah.
My one view as far as making any movie from an anime to a live-action thing, never rush the production. Never put it on the timetable to expect to see a bunch year by year.
Yeah.
Animes don't come fast.
No.
So no movie should ever be done faster than
Shouldn't
the
rush it,
time
yeah.
took to even draw it.
Yeah, and that's what I think a lot of these studios do. They throw out a date and then they rush to meet
Because
that
it's so
date.
reaction. They're so quick to react to the last, big hit. They're like, Avengers works. Oh, we gotta get that
Come out
Justice
something
League out
better,
there.
yeah.
We gotta get it out there. We gotta.
Your casual fan will love to see the next movie and
Yeah.
can't wait to see it,
Yeah.
or feel, well, I watched that one, I guess I can wait for the next one.
Yeah.
Your true source fans are the ones that we've seen a preview before the movie came out formally. We will talk about it, and I'm a fan of anime.
Yeah.
I would talk about the anime stuff, and I'll talk about this movie.
Yeah.
And I will want to see more, and I don't ever want to see it rushed or failed, because it will leave a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk negative if I feel it was done anything less than to what the great writing was done.
Prime
Yeah,
example
you're
of that would have been like Game of Thrones. The last book has taken years
Yeah.
and nobody really wants to rush him. You know what I'm
They
saying?
want it, but they don't want to rush
We're
it.
Yeah,
salivating.
pardon, they're not really trying to rush him because they know.
Salivating and hungry.
Yeah,
Right.
because George was R.R. Martin.
Yeah.
He's sitting over there. He needs to finish that last book, but everybody's like, "No, you take your time because we want it to be quality." And they
Right.
know good food takes time to prepare.
Yeah.
Lasagna can't be made in 5 minutes.
Right.
You need
True.
to sit there and cook it with the amount of time. And Hollywood has a bad habit of trying to microwave lasagna, and you end up with some.
That's a good way to put it. This is like you could say that's a microwave film
Yeah.
instead of a slow
A
cooker.
slow
yeah,
cook,
yeah.
yeah.
Because in the
Yeah.
end, when
Yeah.
it comes to a movie that's a great movie, it does one shot and it was a box office hit. You will see a sequel, and even if it does have great writing and a good source, movies that are one shot good will usually show up again on DVD.
Ghost in the Shell. I feel like it's the kind of movie now that it's gonna make me go back and watch that original cartoon again.
Oh,
I
yeah,
feel
I'm
like
gonna- I'm
I feel
definitely
like I'm
gonna
gonna go
watch it
back and forth on it and just
It's
watch
one of
that
those
and watch
movies
the
that you
series
have a
again.
feeling that you know that it's true to the adaptation. Stuff like 300, stuff like Watchmen. These are all movies that if you look at it, Zack Snyder movies, where he basically took the story off the
Pages.
and he made a very good rendition of this. Just like this movie right here, I believe it was very good in the telling. So I mean, you're going to go back to that and compare it to, you know.
Does
and that's
this,
where-
does this forgive Lucy?
I don't know. Lucy wasn't that bad.
It wasn't. I was having this conversation earlier. It wasn't that bad, but at the very end, it just kind of fell off. I feel
It
like
started
that
going
third act.
more. It started going
It's
more
going-
from an action
going
movie
too
to science
psychedelic.
fiction. Yeah, science fiction type
Right.
stuff. Where the end was just. Did you see Lucy?
I've seen Lucy, and my thing about Lucy, if you told Lucy in a different format besides, if you did it in animation form, if you did it in book form, if you did it,
That
as
would've-
a
it would've
TV
been awesome.
If you did it as a Sci-Fi Channel show, miniseries, it would have left a different feeling. As a movie, you're under time constraints, and you got a lot of conversations.
And you got to condense it to like the 2 hour
Oh,
or an
no,
hour and 30
man.
minutes.
That
What
end
the-
where
what-
she goes into the past was
The thing
Yeah,
is this.
she went from
When
human
you
to God
do
too
that,
fast.
When you make it into a movie and you have to digest that this person's entire brain goes from reasonable 10% worth of natural accessibility, which we all have, somewhere around 10% of any part of our brain.
Well,
at
they
any
said that
time.
that's actually a myth. They said we actually do use 100% of our brain. It's just
Now-
but that 10% is like that. I don't know. I can't explain the science of it.
What
but
we
they
actually
say
apply.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
apply 10%
What we apply,
of any
yeah.
part of our brain at any time at once, and then she has 100%
It's probably
access
the at once
at
part, yeah.
100% capacity use of the brain. So your entire brain is
Time,
open,
space.
all that. Then she has all these abilities. This would mean that if somehow or another we have the potential to control time, our genetic makeup, and then create it. That is a conversation, and that is why I'm so glad that this is also considered
That
fantasy
reminds me
and
of
fiction,
Split, too.
because it's not true.
I never saw Split. I haven't checked it out. But I look at it like this way. We've already seen that kind of stuff happen. Who remembers that movie Powder? Remember how his
remember it.
brain went all complete to the using the full amount of the intelligence, and he just disappeared.
Yeah,
you know,
because he went to a whole. He was going to go to a
Yeah,
whole different
so-
plane of existence. And
Yeah, so I mean, it isn't a new story. I mean, you could do those kind of things. I mean, Lucy was
I
just
like-
another retelling of Powder.
Yes, I like the fact that you ever touch on these things. The human brain is always a funny thing because whenever we think of powers and abilities we have for mental things, telekinesis, we have the ability to precog, the ability to sense. That's actually a natural thing. Our senses are in our head. The ability to read minds, the ability to control metal is something that some people argue. In Lucy, they basically said that she had fantastic abilities because her mind opened up.
See, electronic
That's potential.
communication.
That's all
Yeah.
potential, and that's all great.
and be able to tap into it and all that and
Yeah,
whatnot with your
But
mind.
that's all to me. Also, drugs. Drugs were influenced in that movie. So I can say this. When you add a new chemical outside of what's considered to be part human, then you can also say she took a superhuman soldier formula.
That's just true.
So that's where I can always defend that movie to say,
That's pretty much
well, she
true.
did
She
take
basically
something.
became Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
She took something that augmented herself and then made it superior. So I can't knock it because it's all fantasy. and fiction.
Limitless. Same thing.
Limitless is the
Exact
same thing.
Exact same thing.
Yeah,
You're right.
basically
You're right.
Powder, Limitless, it's all the same thing.
They took an outside drug and opened themselves up to their chakra
Yeah, I mean,
to a
yeah.
whole new
When it comes-
thing that was always there, but we just didn't realize it until the door got open. So yeah,
Yep.
that's. But I don't know. I think a sequel could come out of this.
If there's a
Well, they do
sequel,
have other stories. They have plenty of material to mine from. Because there's two animated
there's
sequels,
two animated sequels,
and then there was a TV show, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
a episodic.
There's actually an episodic that is the standalone complex.
Mm-hmm.
So that one follows the story of what is it to be an individual and what is it to be part of the collective.
Mm-hmm.
This is basically stepping forward the thoughts of this movie or the original movie, and then progressing forward as these outcomes would be further step towards
And not to
developing
mention
in a society.
the Ghost in the Shell comic book. You know,
Yes.
so they
Right.
have a whole.
They got a lot of
whole
material.
lot of material to mine through.
Yeah.
it isn't like this is just like a one-time type story or something.
I
like
feel
that.
overall
You
I
have
think it was a
lot
good
to go
movie. I
through.
think they should. I think
I give it
it's
like
gonna
a
be,
B plus. I
Yeah.
definitely give it a B or B plus.
I'm probably I'm a 4 out of 5. That's not my rating system. So yeah, I'm probably right there too.
About a 4.
About a
yeah.
4. I'm about a
because
4.
honestly, there's been so much worse. You know what I'm saying? Come out, and this is actually something that I enjoyed.
This might actually make people forget about the whole should we try to go with the video game movie thing.
Yeah.
We might need to go this direction instead of
Anime
forcing
instead of video
these video game movies.
Because
Anime might be the way
well,
to go.
Warcraft.
Well, there you go. So you kind of get an idea and a sense of what this movie really, really is about. Like I said, I had a lot of fun with it. I love this movie. I feel like, and I asked this question, but I want to answer it myself. I think this does kind of forgive. If you hated what you saw or it turned out to be in Lucy, I think this is the movie that's going to forgive that, because Scarlett Johansson is a kind of a woman who can do these types of movies and carry a film, but you're always going to think of the Marvel movies that she's in. With a movie like this, Lucy should have been able to break her out from that. Kind of failed. This is a step in the right direction. I see a franchise with this. I see Akira finally coming from this. This might be the direction to go instead of trying to force feed video game movies down our throats. I think they know the formula for these. These are adaptations from other films, from anime films. So it's not like you're lifting from a video game and trying to turn it into a movie. You're taking a movie version of something else and turning it into another version. You're taking one version of a movie and making another version of a movie of the same movie. So it stayed very faithful to the original source material, and and that's all I'm gonna say. As far as more spoilers or anything like that, I don't think it's necessary. This is the type of movie, if you want to spoil yourself, go watch the original anime film if you want to. I'm not going to do it here. There's not going to be another, besides the conversations that you heard here, not going to be any more spoilers. That's all I'm going to say about this. Other than that, go check it out. This is one that's worth not really spoiling. So guys, don't spoil this movie for anybody else. Let your friends become familiar with Ghost in the Shell based on what they see on this version of it and in the anime version, and vice versa. After watching whichever version you see first, watch the other. Watch it back to back. I'm more excited now that I've seen what I've seen. I'm more excited about going back and watching the original movie again. That's the good job that I think this movie did. Not a lot of remakes or retellings of a movie can do that. It will make you go, I gotta check out that original version. This one did. So check it out. 4 out of 5 is what I give it. I hope I can get Trinidad and Bougie to come back and be on this show or on the podcast, and we can talk about this. Great day today. Till next time, guys. Hey, you want tickets to go see this movie? Check it out right here. You know, we're sponsored by Fandango. Get your tickets right here and check out the box below. Click the like button. Tell me what you guys think about this. Hit the subscribe button. Till next time, guys. Peace.